37-year-old Michael Brown is accused of taking a break from his landscaping business last Saturday night to plan this huge illegal house party that led to him facing multiple charges.
I didn't break the law. I just broke some rules of probably what my owners didn't want me to do. But I didn't break the law.
Brown strongly disputes the story UCSO is telling.
I never spoke to them about anything, about who stayed there or who owned the place. It wasn't my right to tell them that, because it's private property. I didn't sell any alcohol. I wasn't down.
Because they're saying there was underage drinking.
Nope, no underage drinking. Nope, I bought my drinks. And
he also remains confident that he hasn't lost a client.
I'm just waiting for them to come home just so I could continue to build my relationship and we can move forward.
Back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. If you click on today's video, then you already know what we're discussing, so let's get right into it. So basically, guys, there was a gentleman out of North Carolina, 37-year-old Michael Brown. He was a landscaper. He owned a landscaping company and lawn services company, and he was providing a service to a multi-millionaire home owner. And he decided to throw a party at these people's homes upon them going out of town. Now, he threw the party. There was teens, there was excessive drinking, there was a loud noise. Of course, the neighbors thought this was odd for their neighborhood, and they decided to call the police. Upon them calling the police, he was arrested, and he was charged with multiple charges, including like breaking and entering and destruction of personal property. It was a few. You're gonna see it in the video. But I had to bring this story to you guys because the audacity of people these days has become... Let's get into the video, then we'll discuss.
County Sheriff's deputies responded to 911 calls from neighbors living near this $4.3 million mansion at the corner of 12 Mile Creek Road and Beulah Church Road in Weddington.
Traffic hazards, loud noises, roadways being blocked.
When they arrived on scene, Lieutenant James May says deputies confronted Brown.
And, he represented himself as the homeowner, said he was having a party, indicated it was a graduation party.
But as they questioned his ties to the home, May says they found holes in his story.
He was in fact not the homeowner, not related to the homeowners, but it was in fact the yard guy.
Brown says this was a graduation party for his son and his son's friends.
Just wanted to always, do something where we could create an income and bring a positive environment for his friends.
It was mostly teenagers and young adults. We estimate anywhere from 300 to 400 people were at the house. A lot of underage drinking going on.
In addition to breaking and entering and property damage charges, investigators also charged Brown with obtaining property by false pretenses.
Did you charge people to get in?
We did not charge, but we did charge because of security reasons.
What he was actually doing was charging an entry fee. So we actually recovered and seized just a little over $3,000.
The owner knew I was supposed to be there.
Brown strongly disputes the story UCSO is telling.
I never spoke to them about anything, about who stayed there or who owned the place. It wasn't my right to tell them that, because it's private property. I didn't sell any alcohol. I wasn't down.
Because they're saying there was underage drinking.
Nope, no underage drinking. Nope, I bought my drinks. And
he also remains confident that he hasn't lost a client.
I'm just waiting for them to come home just so I could continue to build my relationship and we can move forward.
Now, some of those 911 calls were reports of hearing gunshots coming from that house at the time of the party. After responding deputies searched the home looking for either a victim or a weapon, the sheriff's office later determined that that was actually the noise coming from some of the cars that had loud tailpipes. We're live tonight in Union County. Jonathan.
Like, the audacity of him. And he honestly thinks that everything is still fine. Like, he's like, oh, I'm just ready to move forward and I'll be here whenever they get back. And they're going to love me and we're going to move forward. They're like my parents. Sir, you have broken their trust now. So, yeah, you probably was like their son, but now you're like a an enemy stranger now because they don't know who you are. So according to the Sun, he did speak out and he had some words for him. He's like, sir, you are the help. You're hired to do a job. Do that job. Don't enter into the house and do another job for your own benefit. But let's get into the video clip of what the Sun had to say.
Family of the owners of that mansion reached out to me after seeing our story last night, saying they wanted to set the record straight. They say they would never allow someone to use their property, especially in the way that it was used last Saturday night.
What I saw was a very egregious act in my mind. You know, you have youth, you know, they're smoking dope on my parents' back porch here in the pool. You have violated.
Tonight, we're hearing from the son of the owners of this Weddington mansion. Union County Sheriff's officials say was illegally taken over last weekend for an unauthorized party.
I was very angry at the fact that that happened. I knew when I saw that there was no way my parents knew any of this.
Investigators say 37-year-old Michael Brown broke into the home and hosted a large party that he later posted to social media.
It was left, you know, a hot mess, essentially.
300 to 400 attended. Some of them were teenagers.
Those people trust me. They treat me like their son. I'm there every day.
Brown is accused of telling deputies who responded to disturbance complaints that he was the homeowner, then the grandson of the homeowner, before ultimately admitting he was the lawn guy.
Number one, bro, you cut grass. You're the hired help. So you were there for that reason and that reason only. You know, he's a liar. You know, number one, he told multiple stories to the officers.
Jonte Birch says Brown first got the job working for his parents after telling them he was trying to start a landscaping business.
Unfortunately, you know, because of their kindness, right, people tend to take that for weakness. And that's exactly what happened here.
Despite that, Brown was confident he hadn't lost a client.
Are you worried at all about the relationship?
I'm not.
After this?
No, because I know they're loving people.
And he's delusional. He is definitely delusional. In fact, not only has he lost a client, he's probably lost all of the other clients that potentially he's gotten in that neighborhood.
In addition to the accusations of underage drinking, sheriff's officials say there was also property that was stolen and property damaged at that mansion. Birch said he believes Brown not only needs to be held accountable criminally, but also civilly.
Yeah, so this is the story, y'all. I have no words. I really do want to understand people's mindset. Like, I studied a lot of that in college. Psychology was one of my favorite courses. I really do want to understand why people think the way they do, but I really do want to understand, like, what time frame does it take to be like, okay, I'm not doing that. I need to think about the decisions that I make so the consequences won't follow. Because what did he really think was going to happen? Like, he thought afterwards he was going to be able to put the property back together and then be like, oh, by the way, y'all, here your house though. I threw a party after I did that landscaping. Like, what did he want to happen? Anyway, let me know what y'all think about it in the group chat. Let's enter the group chat, y'all. Let's talk about this because there's no way. Also, guys, if you guys love these videos or these news clips that I'm sharing, feel free to send me some. I have a Facebook, I also have an Instagram, and you can also send them over to TikTok. I will leave my handles right here, and just make sure that you guys send them over. Let me know what the story is about, and I'll do a little bit of research, and of course I would give my perspective on it. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys on my next video. And as I say now, and I always will say, be blessed, eliminate stress, but stay genuine, guys. I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.